It's Anne-Marie from the Lovejoy Centre and also AC Tastic Academy. Just really wanted to just drop by and just give you a really quick word of encouragement, really. The reason why I'm using this wonderful bunch of flowers is because lots of activity coordinators don't really know their worth sometimes. I see lots of posts where people feel very deflated, very unsupported, and just almost feel they want to give up. And the fact is that the care industry needs you more so. You know, at long last, we are beginning to get the recognition that we deserve, and that's needed for the importance of the role of an activity coordinator. And I just want to talk to you just very briefly about why you might feel the way you do, and also how you can turn that feeling of defeatism to victory. So first of all, I want you to think of yourself as a beautiful bouquet of flowers that you are. You could be a different flower, and every flower has its own unique fragrance and properties, and that's very much how you are. So can you imagine when a whole converge of activity coordinators get together, as we do in the Facebook groups and forums, the wonderful creativity that's flowing? It's amazing, and you're part of that, and I want you to remember that. I want you to be encouraged today. Now, you need to know that every activity coordinator feels really crappy, hopefully not on a daily basis. But you do. You just have days. It's human nature. It might be particularly where it might be a bit more than just the odd day. It might be for a period of time. It could be to do with your work colleagues. It could be to do with that you're not feeling supported. That maybe you felt you can only go so far with the resources that you have, etc. There's so many factors. I mean, another factor could be that you might feel you're winging it, that you haven't had the proper training. Many times you find activity coordinators who are originally doing a former role, before they take on the position of an activity coordinator, and they're just expected to know what to do. They're given a role description and expected just to get on with it and to pull out tricks out of a bag on a daily basis. Sometimes there's no budget or a very sparse budget. So, those kind of situations aren't your fault if they make you feel overwhelmed. Another thing could be that you might feel that, you're going to be found out, that you're not up to your job, or you could actually feel intimidated. What I mean by that is when you go on to Facebook groups and you hear the wonderful things what other activity coordinators are doing, that's going on in other services and things like that, and you're finding out that your service doesn't do that, or it's very, very different, you can actually feel like, I feel a bit of a fraud or something like that. It differs from different people. I mean, the other feelings of why you might be feeling inadequate could be lack of confidence in yourself, fear of letting people down. You might feel that, people have put a lot of pressure on you to deliver, and you feel that if you're not up to the job or you don't do it as so, that you feel you let them down. Also, you might have a feeling of not feeling good enough. Maybe you've grown up and repeatedly been told you're not good enough. And it's something that you've had to constantly overcome. And even when you get into a job, you're doing wonderfully. And it could be just off-the-cuff comment. It could be, I've heard it before, people say that maybe something that's being done isn't age-appropriate for residents yet, something they really enjoy doing, for example. It could be that, they are doing, arts and crafts or something like that, and it's absolutely fine, but because someone's interpretation of what they're doing is different, an off-the-cuff remark could really set you back. Also, as I mentioned before, you may not be supported in your role. Sometimes that does happen. Either your manager's not supportive enough, your colleagues isn't supported, and the activity coordinator role can feel really, really isolated. I mean, I'm a freelancer and have been for the last 6 years now, And I have different dimensions to what else I do. I'm quite a multifaceted person and business. And I've very recently taken on the role as an activity coordinator for a home in amongst the other homes that I have on my books. And it really does highlight to me a lot of the trends of and of conversations that I hear being said on the different Facebook groups. I can really relate to it, like feelings of not feeling part of a team, that you're very much on your own. I mean, they're a lovely home where I do work, but I very much am on my own, basically. And, I come in for the 6 hours. I do have a really good relationship with the lovely residents, and I've made some really good inroads and made some really good changes there for them, and they're all pleased. But I just go there, do that, and come away. So sometimes you don't always feel part of a team, and unfortunately you do get pockets of people where you can work in a care home and they can have like an inner group and you can feel stubbed out and things like that. So although I don't feel that way, but those are the kind of factors that you're dealing with, and those sort of things can make you feel like you're at a zero place. So I really want you to feel after this how to go from zero to hero. Also, you could have feelings of not feeling that you'll be able to cope. There's too much put on you. Or people undervalue your role and say, oh, well, you're only doing activities, so can you go in the kitchen and help out? Whereas, if there's no proper definition of your job role and they're not supporting you and they're merging it like that, how are you and how are your colleagues and everyone else meant to perceive you? It's really important. This is one of the areas that I speak quite strongly on for people who used to be former carers and they've taken over the role of an activity coordinator, and they're in the middle of a session and one of the residents wants to go to the toilet. And, for the sake of quickness, they could actually go and help them. But, they really need to call for a carer to do it, because otherwise they're going to be caught up doing that. And then it will just become commonplace that, even though you're an activity coordinator and doing that role, you can still toilet the residents. It just takes away. So there has to be very clear boundaries in that respect. Okay, so there's always a reason as to why you might feel the way you do. And also, there are different feelings that make you feel inadequate too. So you have to decipher that and just know that. So what can you do about it? Right, well, first of all, get rid of all these mind monkeys. Stop rehearsing negative conversations and off-the-cuff remarks that people have said to you. Get yourself a scrapbook, an online vision board, anything that sums up who you are and the things you want to achieve. And also, more importantly, have like a book of awesome, a book that, people have put comments in, letters of accolade, like an accolade book, call it what you will. But it's a book that houses all the comments that people have said about you, cards of thanks, gratitude people have sent to you. Put them all in that book. And when you're feeling down and you're feeling that no one cares, or people have got a low opinion of you, or you have of yourself, I want you to dig that book out and look at it and say, no, this is what people actually say and perceive about me. It's a really good thing to do. And finally, stop beating yourself up. Just stop it. I give you permission to stop being so negative to yourself, and I give you permission to be kind to yourself. You must stop beating yourself up. And remember how brilliant and how fabulous you are, and the wonderful job that you do, and the fact that you are a shining light. You are in the lives of all those wonderful people who are in the latter stages of their life, and you are adding a dimension of normality and quality to their life with all the things that you're doing and organising. It's never in vain. And you must always remember that. Okay, so I hope this has helped you. So until next time, take care and speak soon. Bye-bye for now.